Jump in and say, I'm going to do a Facebook live stream and to share something that's really precious to me, which is a little bit about my healing journey with chant. You know, I started out as a schooled musician and I played lots of jazz and I toured with all kinds of people, and I thought music was a commodity, really. And my shift, my big shift, happened when I was performing in Japan. And I walked into a temple in Kyoto with a Japanese friend of mine, and I could feel there was something happening. Okay, there was a few hundred people chanting, and it was loud and it was powerful, but there was something. And I discovered that they were chanting to send comfort and solace to survivors of a horrific mudslide in Colombia. And you know those moments where you get the light bulb? For me, it was like light bulb, that they're chanting, and the intention to send this love across the world was as tangible as a television signal or a radio signal. And that experience really changed the course of my career as I began to have a passion to study and collect mantras and chants and healing music from around the world. And I noticed that for me, the teachings, the tradition of the teachings were varied. So where I'm sharing this from is not from any kind of a religious teaching, but more from someone who is deeply connected to the healing power of vibration and of breath. And that's what happens. And I'm going to teach you this very special chant. And when we go into the chant, I'm going to specify where we breathe, because it's the continuation of the relaxation of the body, of the calming of the mind, moving right out of the mind into the heart. And the breath really helps us do it. So the next part of my story, I told you I was going to share just a little bit, is meeting a really special friend on a trip to Maui. A mutual friend brought me to her, and we basically took one look at each other and went, uh-oh, here's trouble. And this is my friend, Arlette Alexander, and she lived in the jungles of Maui. And at the time I met her, she's an avid Buddhist practitioner, and I really didn't know much about it at that time. She's also a PhD psychologist and the queen of mischief. If there was fun to be had, Arlette was into it. So she taught me the words to the Medicine Buddha Chant, which is the chant I want to share with you today. And I didn't have the scholarly background that many people who are Buddhist practitioners have. I just had my feeling sense and my knowing sense, and I knew that these words, that the vowels of these words tapped me into a lineage and were powerful. Part of why I'm sharing this today is, gosh, I think Arlette and I went back and forth between Maui and BC in the summers and Maui in the winters for 30 years, close to 30 years. And she was truly a sister friend. And it was about this time last year that she passed. And I think I've been kind of private about sharing, you know, this is my own healing practice, but I had a dream of Arlette and it was very strong. And she came in the dream and she said, I want you to share this now with an invitation for people to join with you. She always loved my gift of, you know, when I'm happiest is, yeah, sure, I love to sing and play, but when I get really happy is when everyone sings with me. So she said, you share this at this time and invite people to understand that this healing chant is not just for Buddhists or Buddhas. It's for anyone who want to tap into the power to heal. And as we're about to sing this song, I invite you to take a moment, and if you're with me, I have no idea who's with me on this, and you want to put some comments in, what areas would you like to heal? I know some people are saying, I want to heal for the animals, they don't have a voice. You know, I'm healing for the children on the planet, or I'm healing for a family member. And of course, we're healing for ourselves. my version of this chant. It's not a traditional version, and you can see the words. They're here for you to take a look at. First, I'd like to bring you into the feeling of the music and the melody, and we're going to use a vowel sound to get the melody into our hearts. And it says, la la la. And in this way, we can sing the traditional 108 times without any fatigue. I'm not going to go 108 times today, but I want to remind you of the breath. Let's go back to that first phrase. Here we go. It's just singing la, 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 la. So you can click onto an article I've just written about the healing power of chant, because it's very important to pay homage to the lineage and to educate the mind as much as possible. The perspective now is for us to be in our hearts and feel the vowels and have a pure experience of what this is for us to join. So, first phrase, listening. For a moment. the ha. Make one of those sounds with me and feel your heart space vibrating. Ha, maha. This is why we drop the jaw, to really feel that heart space vibration. So much profound healing happens here, and science is catching up. And this is my second blog that I'm writing, as I'm really sharing with you how science is showing us how by doing this we access so much healing power. For now, we experience second phrase. Maha, back and say with me this time. Maha, back and say, listening. Ranza samungate. Doesn't matter if your pronunciation is perfect right now. Sing the vowels. Ranza samungate. One more time. Ranza samungate. Breathe. Suha. Suha. Yes. I'm going to move into the chant now. I'm calling up the forces of healing on this planet. The teachers, the angels, the Buddhists, the ascended masters, whatever your faith is, whatever your path is, to join together in heart, in song, and bring a healing wave to the planet. join together to send a healing wave into our own bodies with our breath, releasing anything that's in the way of our optimum healing and sending that healing out to all that we care for and all that we love in the world. And today I send out a special prayer for my friend Arlette Alexander, who taught me this chant. I'm going to be posting a link in the comments, and you can read more about the healing power of chant and some of the deeper lessons in the tradition of this Tibetan Medicine Buddha Chant. Thanks for joining me.